Hello, this is Victor. I'm here with a new battle report. This time is going to be a Warhammer Fantasy 8th edition. So yeah, I'm still playing 8th edition, and yeah, this was a game that was pending to be played for a while ago. So I decided to play against a colleague that also is um, we can find here in Google Plus and in some other parts as all elves are dark. But yeah, we played 2,400 points Bretonnian, my Bretonnian versus his Wood Elves. So here we have a picture of my Bretonnian army. So let's just make a look on the units and the army list. So I have a Lord of Bretonnia on horse. I have a level 4. I have a level 2, 2 paladins, and 3 units of Realm Knights, 11, 10, 10. 1 unit of 5 Real Knights and 18 archers or bowmen, 5 yeomen, and then 3 Pegasus. This is a practice game for a tournament that we are going to play next week. And yeah, I didn't play a lot of tournaments of 8th edition, and this is going to be the close-up, I think, for me on 8th edition. Maybe I will play later on. I never close the door to play any game, and I keep the door open if someone wants to play with me 8th edition, although I have to say that I prefer Storm Age of Sigmar. So yeah, here my army, another overview of the army. Here is this my one of my paladins with the level 4 there. The level 4 goes on horse and the level 2 it's walking and will go inside of the units of the bowmen. Here is my BSB and yeah, at the bottom of the pic here we are going to see this is my lord or my general. He is the Bretonnian lord on horse. Of course, the Bretonnian Lord is equipped with the Sword of Swiftness, the heroic killing blow, so the virtue of the heroines, and the Yelm that gives +1 to armor and reroll armor saves. So let's go on magic powers. So I use the level 2 to roll on beasts and the level 4 to roll on life. I want to use them mainly to buff my units, and I decide to use life on my level 4 because yeah, I'm quite concerned about the miscasting, so I don't want to. I don't need. Yeah, if I can have something to mitigate the miscast, like is in life, it's good. And yeah, so let's make a roll. These are the powers that I get from Beast. I guess the Wizards of Will Form. So I decide to. I think I get one and that I didn't like, and I decide to change for the Wizards Will Form, and then I have the Savage Beast of Horus. So for life, what I exchange the Shield of Thorns by the Earth Blood. Then I get the Awakening of the Wood. Taking into account that I played against Wood Elf, I think that maybe this this power can be useful. If they are in woods, it's not that bad. Flash to Stone, great spell, I think. Then I get the Regrowth, another spell that I like to have. It's missing because I wanted to have the Throne of Winds, but I didn't have it at the end. And then these are the powers of my opponent. So the Wood Elves had the Ice Shard Blizzard, and there's a mistake here on the cards. He doesn't have the Huranon's Thunderbolt. He changed that by the Ice Shard Blizzard. Then he had the Harmonic Convergence, and the Comet of Cassandora, and the Chain Lightning. This was the reason why he changed also the Huranon's Thunderbolt, because he preferred to have the Chain Lightning. So let's go first to deployment, and I will explain a little bit the list of the Wood Elves. So the Wood Elves here is the units that deploy normally. So from left to right we have a unit of Hawks, 2 units of Glade Guard. The first unit, the one in the front, have arrows that plays against Chaos. Is the list he's going to use for the tournament, so he didn't change this equipment. And the unit at the back have the arrows that you don't have any penalty. In the middle, we have the Wood Elves that goes equipped with two-hand weapons. I don't remember exactly the name, but it's... And then they have the Wild Riders and a hero on an eagle. Here another overview. The level 2, by the way, it's in the first unit of Glade Guard. So it's inside of one of these units, and the BSB is on the unit of Wood Elves that are equipped with two-hand weapon. This is my deployment. So I decide to group to have my archers centered in the battlefield, and then to be in the middle of. So in one side have one lance of the Realm of the Knights with the Real Knights next to them. And then on the two big lances in the middle, one of the lances have the level 4. I decide to put the level 4 in the lance that is in the middle to keep her in range of all my units. And then I decide to put the BSB and the general on the other lance in the right. And then there is one of the paladins is in the other knight's lance just in my left flank. The right flank then is protected by the Pegasus and the yeomen, but I don't expect a lot from the yeomen. They are there to see if they can capture some of these objectives. By the way, the mission we are going to play, we put 5 tokens in the middle. They represent their pets or familiars, and they will move d6 in a random direction. So in order to you can charge them normally, but if they and they will, the automatic reaction of the pets is going to be to flee d6. If you catch one of these pets, you hold it with your unit, and at the end of the battle, who is capturing this objective is winning 150 points for each pet they are capturing. They don't have any attack, so you just to capture them, you just have to assault. And yeah, and if you catch them, you have them under your control. To be able to capture one of these pets, you need a unit that have, if it's infantry, have to be 10 or more with a banner. If it's cavalry, 10 or more with banner. And if it's monstrous infantry or monstrous cavalry, 3 or more with banner. And the characters can always capture them. So here is, so that means that if you have a unit with a paladin or character, they also can capture. And this is one of the reasons why I also scatter a little in my characters, because then my units, although all my units have banners except the unit with the bowman, to have the character, in case the unit goes below the numbers, I can still capture them with the character. Here another picture of the deployment, and here you see that he just deployed the Weight Watchers a little bit in front of the Glade Guard unit. Here a better picture, less blurry. Another picture of the Wood Elf, and here is one of my mistakes in the deployment. So I didn't thought about the Weight Watchers, and I leave enough room on my left flank to have this unit there. And these guys at short range are very killing. The arrows ignores the armor, so yeah, they can really destroy my units of knights. We did the vanguard movement. I just move the yeomen there to. I know that they cannot charge, but I want to just get them away from the combat. I don't need to engage them, just to make some pew pew with the arrows. And I keep my I didn't move my Pegasus because I want to, as I am predicting to move second, I just want to see how they move before moving my Pegasus. And in case he is not moving enough, I will see if I charge one of these pets. You see in the opposite side, let's see if I have the picture. On the opposite side, he just moved the hawks, as I did with my yeomen. Here we see. So you see the hawks are behind these ruins, just trying to flank. Also to add the numbers to the Weight Watchers that are already in my flank. So this flank is very exposed, And yeah, and here I will suffer because I only have the small lances. And let's see what happens. So we go into turn 1 for the Wood Elves. Here we have all the turns. And here comes the first surprise. I didn't know about the banner that allowed the Wood Elf to teleport from one wood to another. So this big unit of close combat Wood Elf just teleport in the middle of my lines to the flank of one of my main lances. So yeah, I was completely surprised. And no, I cannot do anymore. As you can see also the eagle move in front next to the tower. Here we see also in the flank, the hawks just did another movement and they are completely at the flank of my lances, ready to shoot them down, and they move of course out of my front arc, so I cannot charge any of these two units in my next. Here another review. I cannot charge them neither because they are out of my line of view. And here we see just the rest of the lines of the Wood Elf just keep in place. He didn't move the Wild Riders, and the Glade Guard and the other unit of Watchers just remain there on the far distances. The Eagle just moved there because he wants to use the super arrow, the 3D shots of arrow against my Pegasus. Here is the unit of, I don't remember the name of these guys. And then we go to magic. He managed to put the comet there. I was wondering if to use my dispel scroll or not to that. At the end I decided to use the dices. I didn't dispel. I thought that the comet was not that scary because I need to move anyway. But yeah, he put the comet in a position that is not very easy for me. So the comet is there. And then we go to the shooting. And you see, from the left lance, I lost 6 knights. So this is all, and then from the Grial Knights, I lose 2 of my Grial Knights. This is all thanks especially to the Way Watchers. They can shoot and ignore my armor. So yeah, this was a big. Luckily, the Grial Knights are immune, and they're immune to psychology. And the knights pass the leadership test, the real knights. And in that side, all the hero on the eagle, sorry, use the arrow to do the 3 shots with I think was strength 4, something like that, on my Pegasus, and he managed to do 1 wound to my Pegasus. So not bad there. I was a little bit lucky. So we go into turn 1 for Bretonnia. And yeah, I measure, the distance was 18, I think. Say, why not? Let's risk a charge into the eagle with my Pegasus. Let's be aggressive. Here, as I explained before, they are completely out of my range, so I decide to charge one of the pets with my real knights. And here comes he shoot at me, kill 1 Pegasus, I fail the leadership test, and I run out of the board. So, and on top of that, I failed the charge. So, because I rolled first to charge and say, so no, yeah, but I can shoot, so my reaction is stand and shoot. So even if I didn't run away, I didn't charge him. So very unlucky, and I lose the unit of 3 Pegasus straightforward. So here you see them running out of the board. We go to magic. The charge you see at the bottom, at the top of the picture. I change the pet and I reform there. And then in magic, I use flesh. No, I use the power that is from beast on the unit of the one that gives +1 to strength and +1 toughness, at least to make them more resistant to the Way Watchers. Here in that game, having more toughness is more important than having good armor because they ignore my armor save, especially with the Way Watchers. And yeah, and then I roll revolve on my knights with 3 dice, and you see the result, 3 sixes. So I regrowth one of the real knights, and in return I receive a 1 wound on each of my wizards, because I had the one that you receive a strength 6 hits on all your wizards, so 1 wound for each of my wizards. Not that bad, the backslash. I did some shooting, and the archers kill one Way Watcher. Not great, but from these distances I cannot expect more from these guys. They need 6s to hit the Way Watchers. So killing one is not that bad. Here are the Way Watchers that I shot. So any arrow that ignores armor that I can eliminate is welcome. This was the situation at the end of my turn 1. So you see there, I have the 5 real knights. As you can see, I decide to move them to the flank to face the Way Watchers, and I also move the other real knights after charging and taking one of the tokens, one of the pets. I reform them in that way that they can assault to the Way Watchers or to the Hawks, but I guess the Hawks can move away, so also the Way Watchers are in the front arc. And here in that side, when I just assault one of the pets that were on the tower, and then I reform. As you can see, I give the flank to the eagle. I don't care. I don't want to be charged in the flank by these guys with two-hand weapons. And then the other lands I just put there in case I start receiving charges. I can support the unit of the general. The idea is to see if I can tank the wounds and try to survive there a couple of turns if I'm charged from all sides. And also to put the tower between me and the Wild Riders. So if the Wild Riders want to assault me, they have to go. We decide that the towers and the buildings are going to be ruins, so you can cross them, but you have to do dangerous terrain test. So this is why I put them, as you can see. So the flank is exposed to the Wild Riders, but if they assault me, they have to pass at least they have to go through dangerous terrain. I think this was the best compromise. Try to avoid to be exposed and try to start repositioning me, but I'm in really bad positioning at that moment of the battle. And here, just to show that the yeoman, I move them ahead to be able to shoot to the eagle. They did nothing. And to assault one of these pets, because they have banner and they have strengths. They have 5 guys in the unit, so they can pick a pet if I want it. And we go to turn 2 for the Wood Elves. Here we have the dice of the turn. The 2 units of Glade Riders came from reserve, and they are ambushers. So one appear just behind my yeoman, and the other one, you cannot see, but appear just next to my lances in my deployment zone. And this is the situation at the beginning of the turn 2 of the elves. Another picture. Here we see, if the Glade Riders shoot to my yeoman, they are. He almost didn't move anything at that point, so he kept the Way Watchers stationary. He also kept the Falcons the Hawks stationary. For me, it was a little bit surprising because I thought that he will run away from my lances. He will try to avoid to engage in close combat. Or maybe he's very confident on the shooting and that he can eliminate my units. But this way I give to my lands +1 to strength, +1 to toughness to make them a little bit more. Here you see the other unit of Glade Riders just appearing between my lances. At this moment the battle was very messy for me. I have the lances in very bad positions. I have my flanks completely exposed. And I almost lose the 2 flanks, so I need to move the lances out of there because they are completely surrounded. Here the other, before finishing, is also during the movement. He was really one of the most decisive turns, I guess, this turn 2. All these units here. You see, this is the other point. Another thing that I didn't know, he can move as many times as he wants. So I was screwed up. I didn't know very well this ability. But he moved again the close combat guys back to his forest. So he forced me to be out of position, exposing my flanks, and now he moved the unit out. So I think this was not a bad movement, and he didn't want to engage me in close combat. So yeah, I will not charge him inside of the woods. Between the dangerous terrain and all the advantages the Wood Elves have in the woods, I don't think it's a good idea. Even for a strong lance, I don't want to deal elf with two-hand weapons on woods. And he didn't want to solve me, so yeah, he just moved back to his line. And he didn't move much more, so that's all. The late riders just remained there to be able to shoot me. And yeah, here is the other flank. He was just trying to position himself to have wood shooting and also to have the sorcerer in range to be able to use the lightning bolts or the how it's called this, all the different powers he have, the chain lightning, sorry. And then he used the chain lightning and he did one wound to one of my knights. I passed almost all the saves. And then, because he was on a miscast, he received one wound in return and killed some glade, how it's called this, glade guard. So I think he threw a 5 that is continuous detonation. So calamitous detonation, sorry. So he killed some glade guard, I think a Weight Watcher, and she received one wound in back. And then in the shooting phase, yeah, here the Weight Watchers just kill all the real knights in just one round of shooting. And in that side, they killed 3 of the yeomen, and the yeomen ran out of the board. I think I made a mistake. They should not run out of the board. They should run escaping from the unit that shot at them. But at that moment, I didn't care. So I lose. As you can see, my 2 flanks are really exposed at this. Here we see the yeomen running out of the board. These blue, these sticks are marking the end of the table. And that's all. So here I think I just receive, I receive one wound on one of my lances, but my lances are quite in good shape. So not very concerned. These 2 lances in the middle didn't receive a lot. At least another turn that they survive. And the lance with the knights that I put the +1 strength and +1 toughness that are at the bottom of the picture, he killed them all except the paladin and the champion of the unit. So the paladin and the champion of the unit are the only survivals. We go to turn 2 for Bretonnia. So this champion and the paladin, I decide to at this moment to charge the hawks. If he decides to flee, he will flee out of the battlefield. So he's in a position that Kinda cannot flee. He has to receive the charge, and if I'm lucky, can kill them. But yeah, here in the middle, they will not do much more. So I decide to see if I'm lucky. I charge them and see if I can escape from being in the middle of the battlefield, surrounded by archers. And this is the other one, this lance that was in a very bad position in the tower, next to the tower. I decide to charge the glade riders here. I have to cross dangerous terrain and I lose 3 of my knights in dangerous terrain, but I want to move them out of the middle, being exposing the flank to everybody. So I just decide to use the glade riders to charge, and they couldn't flee, because if they were fleeing out of the board. So yeah, maybe this was the option to avoid that my unit was running out of the to the flank. But I think was my way to get my lance in a better positioning. So I decide to charge and take the risk to cross dangerous terrain. And yeah, I lose 3 knights in the process. So yeah, and maybe this unit pay back because I lose 3 knights. And yeah, and this was just at the beginning of my magic phase. The other lands, as you can see, I didn't care about the glade riders. I'm more concerned about the eagle. I don't want to expose my flank to the eagle. I just move the other lands here in that position, try to support a little bit my bowmen, and to be in better position. I just move to be also in range of my other knights in case I need to use powers, because I want to make regrowth on the unit of the general, so I move in that way to be able to be in range. Yeah. At the end, I didn't manage to cast any spell this turn because the regrowth was stopped by dispel scroll, and then he used all the other dice to dispel my other powers. I don't think I have enough. I didn't have a lot of powers this turn. And here we have the other charge, so the two charges go in. Here before the combat. And again, the positioning of my other lands in the middle. Yeah, I don't care. If they want to charge the flank of my lands, they can charge the flank of my lands. I counting on the armor and the save of the Bretonnian and try to hit them back as possible. And if they, at that point, there was not a better choice than that, I think. And I wanted to have my level 4 in range to be able to support the lands of the general. And the archers shoot again to the Weight Watchers, and I think I kill another Weight Watcher. So in the combat phase, as expected, my general they completely obliterate the Glade Riders, and I reform, as you can see, to be able to know to do a circle movement and try to be ready for turn 3-4 for the turn 4 to be in position to be able to charge. And if you see at the bottom of the picture, my paladin and the champion make the hawks round of bolts. Here we see the better picture. So I won the combat and they ran out of the board, and I didn't chase them. I rolled very little thing to pursue, and I was in that position. And here another picture. I couldn't heal the wound on my level 4 because I didn't manage to cast any spell. So this was the situation at the end of the turn 2. So I lose quite important units. I lose the Grial Knights. I lose the Yeoman is not that important, and I almost lost. I lost all except one guy from one of my real knights, and I just killed the Hawks and one unit of Glade Riders. So this is the situation at the end of the turn 2. We go into the turn 3 for the Wood Elves. Turn 3. So this was the situation here at the beginning of the turn 3 of the Wood. This is where you remember the close combat unit, the big block is back to the Wood Elf lines. Was moving the pattern. Another picture before he moving. Sorry that I repeat some of the pictures. And here is when after he moves, he decide to advance with the Weight Watchers and to engage with my bowmen and to be in range to shoot other units. So he almost completely ignored my paladin and champion. I don't know why he didn't want to eliminate completely my unit. I think he was more concerned on the middle. He was to put more pressure on the middle of my line, and he completely let my champion and paladin alone there. So I was happy with that decision. So I was not. I don't think I can complain about that. And here the hawk the eagle didn't move, so he was concerned on receiving a charge. He don't want to engage in close combat with my units. He just want to use the hawk to do some pew pew. And and the other unit of Glade Riders, they are completely out of my line of sight. I don't care about them, and they didn't move either, so they didn't want to charge me, and just they remain there to shoot. The Wild Riders and the other units of close combat, they didn't move neither, so he was just betting on putting his effort on the shoot and the magic. So here we see another picture. All the shooting killed 4 of my bowmen. I cannot complain neither on that. So yeah, from the front, no, the stakes are considered fences for the game rules. And the Weight Watchers here, yeah, they are not that killy. They can do 2 shots each. But yeah, they don't have armor, so I don't care if they ignore my armor. So they kill 4 here, and they kill another knight in the lands of the level 4. But I think that's all. So they didn't did a lot of damage, and there is no close combat. And I think in the magic phase he cast another chain lightning. I think the chain lightning, I don't know. I don't remember what he cast. I think was another chain lightning. I think he killed one of my guys. And in return, he had another miscast and he received another wound. So the level 4 of him is now only 1 wound from the death. So we go into turn 3 for Bretonnia. At this point I didn't have any charge to declare, my units were completely out of position, so I just decide to reposition the unit of my general and move forward the unit of the level 4 next to the tower to get out of the line of sight of the Wild Rider. So I just leave alone the archers in the middle, the bowmen. Yeah, at this moment I think, okay, I can sacrifice the unit and save the 2 lances. I want to save points. I want to no, what I did with the general, sorry, the unit of the general charged another pet, so now the general have 2 pets, and the unit at the bottom, the one with the paladin and the champion, have another pet. So I have 3 pets. I want to minimize my losses, so I decide to move the unit with the level 4 out of the line of sight of the close combat weapons and also out of the line of sight of the eagle, but I keep the level 4 in range to be able to cast Phrase to Stone on my archers, so I can boost the resistance of my archers. Maybe they can survive the shooting. If they don't survive the shooting, I don't care. I know that I have the level 2 there, but I cannot take the level 2 out of the unit because then she will be dead very easily. So that's all. And then the unit with the paladin and the champion just move around the ruins on the bottom of the picture to be able to threat the flank of the Glade Guard that where the level 4 is hidden. Here now a picture of the movements. Still getting into position, so at least I will have 2 lances surviving in one of the flanks. And yeah, and let's see what happened with the bowmen. Here is the movement of the lances. So as you see, the lance of the general with the BSB have 2 of these tokens. So I'm quite happy with that, 300 points there. And then I know in good position and not to expose. Although, and also I'm moving the other lance with the level 4 next to this one so they can support each other. And here, maybe it's not very clear, but at next to the forest I have the paladin and the champion of the only survivor of the unit. And here are the archers, the bowmen, just surrounded by the 2 Weight Watchers and then the Glade Guard that is supporting from the far. So the Glade Guard have a long distance, and the unit that is very far away, they don't have any penalty in shooting. And then here is what I cast. If the eagle wants to assault my bowman, I welcome them. I welcome it. But I put Phrase Stone, and also the level 2 managed to put on them the Wizard's Wild Form. So this unit have +3 strength plus 1. +3 toughness plus 1 strength. That is not bad. And I have defense on front, so you have to do dangerous terrain. So it's not bad. And I also want to minimize the damage from the shooting. So quite happy with that. My opponent was very concerned about the Regboth, so he was keeping the dispel dice to dispel the Regboth, and I couldn't manage to do the Regboth. So my tactics here on the magic phase was try to cast spells with 2 or 3 dices and taking some risk, but to cast as many spells as possible to buff my units and try to make the Regboth. So my objective was not to do damage, try to recover my units and to protect my asset. So here again, one overview. And yeah, and here the bowman surprised me. They shoot to the Glade Guard and they kill 4 or 5 of them. So not bad. So it's long distance, I didn't move. So 5 F2 hits and then 3 to wound. So they did a quite pretty decent job. They had to know they killed 2 Weight Watchers and some Glade Guards. So I think they pay back the points. If not, they are close to pay back the points. Of course, the level 2 it's not back yet. But here we see, but they have absorbed also a run of shooting, so it's not bad for them. I'm quite happy with how the women are performing in this battle. And here we have the level 4 with 1 wound, with only 1 Glade Guard next to her. And we go to the turn 4. As you can see, not a lot of close combat up to now, and yeah, Wood Elves are trying to not engage in close combat. So we go to level 4, and so turn 4, sorry. Yeah, the eagle charged one of the pet that was in front of my bowman. So he has now 1 pet on the eagle, and there is only 1 pet alone, and I have 3 pets under my control. These Weight Watchers here, they have difficulties to see the unit of my paladin and the champion that are next to the forest because these ruins there are blocking the line of sight. So yeah, he's trying to position because he wants now to shoot to my. He realizes he needs to shoot down the champion and the paladin because no one is threatening his flank. And this is the position in the other flank. He moved again, yeah. He moved again the close combat, the big block of infantry into the forest. So they are again there. But no, I was not surprised, and yeah, at that point I don't think I will care a lot about these guys. And he's moving the Glade Guard to the front and trying to move the level 4 into a position to be able to cast something into my knights. Yeah, here are my boosted. Yeah, this is after the shooting. Sorry. Yeah, in the magic phase, he cast first, I think, the comet, and I used the silver mirror. So I dispel. I was expecting to kill the level 4 with the hit strength 6 hit that I do with the silver mirror, but I roll a 1 to wound. So it was a pity there. I couldn't kill the level 4, but at least I dispel and then I use all the other dice to dispel the lightning. So the magic phase was completely nullified at this point. And all the shooting on the bowman kill just 1 bowman thanks to the enhanced toughness. You see also he moved the Wild Riders very close to my bowman, so now he's threatening my bowman with the Wild Riders ready to charge in the next turn. And he shoot the rest. You see that the Weight Watchers and the Glade Guard have pivoted, so he decided to shoot and the unit with the Paladin and the how it's called, and the champion, and he killed the champion, but the Paladin is still alive with the 2 wounds. So I still holding one of the pets with the Paladin with 2 wounds. And here we have yeah, and after the shooting he just killed, thanks to the enhanced toughness, he just killed one of the bowmen. So yeah, and this is the positioning at the end of the turn 4 of the Wood Elves. So here in the forest, and yeah, you see the Glade Riders didn't move a lot. They still next to there and trying to shoot to my knights. So he's trying to kill my knights with the shooting. Indeed, the only thing, the ones that are dealing more damage are the Weight Watchers. The other arrows, yeah, they have armor piercing 1, but they are not doing that as much as hard as the Weight Watchers do. Here we see a general view. So yeah, my bowmen are still alive with the level 2 there. And yeah, now I have these Wild Riders very close to me. But let's go to the turn 4 for the Bretonnia. So here we go to turn 4 for Bretonnia. And yeah, I did what you see here. I moved the general unit facing, so try to have a good view of all my enemy units. From there they can see the Glade Riders, the Wild Riders, and also the guys, the big block of infantry of Wood Elves in the forest. And then I move my level 4 with the small lance because now it's quite damaged by all the shooting. I move them away behind the ruins. I don't want to expose them. No need to expose. And yeah, I'm just turning around to see if I can assault the Weight Watchers or the Glade Guard from the flank. So I move there, and also to give, they are in good distance, they can still boost the bowman if needed, they can boost the general if needed, and they can do just the direct damage on the Glade Riders if needed. So there, I like this positioning for the level 4. And you can see at this moment I decide to move to the front my bowmen because they were because by moving like that I'm now out of the front arc of the Wild Rider. So yeah, I can avoid to engage the Wild Rider for another turn. Of course, the Glade Riders, they can charge me if they want, but at least I cannot receive the charge from the Wild Riders. Here is the positioning. So I think maybe this was a small mistake from my opponent. Try to go to the flank of my archers, to the flank of my bowmen to avoid the fences, to avoid the dangerous terrain. But then I just decide to move to the front, just 1 inch away from the eagle. Here we have the positioning, and yeah, I'm out. You see the next to the forest. Yeah, I tried to charge with my paladin to the unit of 10 Glade Guard that are at the bottom of the picture, but I failed the charge. I think I was needing an 8, and I just rolled a 6. So I moved just 3 inches to the front. So yeah, he's quite exposed there. I don't know if I will survive. And there is a lot of shooting around me, and yeah, he have +1 armor save, he has the Laxton, and that's all. And here we have just the bowman that move. Yeah, this is after the magic phase. I cast again Flesh to Stone on my bowman, very happy with that. And then, yeah, I cast how it's called, the one from Life, the Awakening of the Forest. But I only killed the Glade Guard. I only managed to do a single wound and kill the Glade Guard. And then in the shooting phase, the bowmen kill the level 4. So, yeah, the bowmen are doing a lot of job. So they are not out of any risk of charge, except from the Glade Riders, but they have +2 on toughness, so they are quite resilient at this moment. And at this moment, yeah, the bowmen, I very like how they are performing in this battle, and it's not normal. Normally bowmen are not that good, but at this moment they kill, the level 4. Here we see another general picture at the end of my turn 4. So now I'm in much better shape, than I was at the beginning of the battle. We're going to turn 5 for the Wood Elves. And yeah, this is at the beginning before he moved. Now picture before he's moving the units. Here we see the movement. So the Wild Riders just do a swift reform and move behind my bowman. I don't know. He wanted to put them facing my knights. I think he was scared to engage that my knights engage him. So yeah, because putting them in that position, I just need to move a little bit the moment to be out of assault vision. Then they did the shooting again on my bowman. He killed 2, not enough to do a panic check. And the rest of his units, so the eagle, sorry, charge another pet, and he captured another pet. So now the eagle have 2 pets with him. And then the rest of the shooting, so the other Weight Watchers and the Glade Guard just shoot to my Paladin, and they only did 1 wound, so my Paladin is surviving, surprisingly. So here is the reason. I was too far to boost my Paladin, so my Paladin was just on the toughness 4. And yeah, I was lucky enough to survive another round of shooting. This is the situation at the end of the turn 5 of the Wood Elves. Here, see. Yeah, my general unit have 3 units in front that are, and 2 of them are quite scary. The Wild Riders, and the Wild Riders are too far. I cannot charge them from that distances. I think they are more than 24 inches. And then I have this guy with the 2-hand weapon. I don't want to charge into the forest. So yeah, so far, and I will not charge the Glade Riders, because if I get stuck there for any bad luck, they will make a sandwich with me. So I'm here at the end of the turn 5 of the Wood Elf. I was thinking, okay, I don't need to take any other risk now. I just try to move my lands of the general out of this position. So we go into turn 5, and he says a mistake is the turn 5 of the Bretonnian. And I declare 3 charges that work. So I declare charge with the bowman onto the Weight Watchers. I declare a charge with the knights into the Weight Watchers. And then I declare a charge of the Paladin with only 1 wound into the Glade Riders. The Glade Guard. It was risky because I have to receive 10 arrows against me. But yeah, I was hoping that my 1+ armor save will keep me alive. Here I have, we had a little bit of, we had to check, because yeah, I declared 2 charges from different angles on the Weight Watchers. And here is the reason. If he decides to flee, in what direction he will flee? Because if he flee again he has to flee from my bowman. He has to run, getting closer to my knights, and then my knights will have an easy charge, and more likely he will kill them. They will kill them. If he's running from my knights, he will run very close to my bowman, and then my bowman will just charge from very short distances and more likely kill them too, because we are like in opposite directions. So the rule we follow is that first I declare who is going to move first in the charge, and then he reacts to that charge, and he decided at the end to stand and shoot. No, he cannot shoot. Sorry, because I was charging him to the flank and to the back. He just decided to stand there, and I make this like this type of sandwich with the Weight Watchers. And here we see my knight managed to survive the shooting. And you see there also, you can see the eagle with the 2 tokens. That is the two pets that he captured. And this is the combat between the lands of the level 4 and the bowman against the Weight Watchers. We see another general picture of the battlefield. In the magic phase, I put flesh to stone on the Paladin that have only 1 wound. Then I put the +1 stuff, the one from Beast that gives +1 toughness +1 strength into, this time I decided to put it into the unit of knights. And I tried to use regrowth, but he stopped it. I wanted to give the wound back to the paladin, but he decided to stop this one. So yeah, but the units are boosted. I'm quite happy to have toughness 6 on my paladin. My paladin make the Glade Riders a Great Guard run. He was stand fast, but he failed the leadership test. And yeah, they ran out of the table, and I decided to pursue, because then I can run also out of the table. So I also ran out of the table. So this was great, because now he cannot shoot at my paladin, and next turn is the turn 6. So my paladin will survive this battle with the token. And then that flank, he ran 10 inches and I couldn't catch him. So even my bowman ran faster, a little bit faster than the knights. But this is, yeah, at the end I was, yeah, here just now harvesting some points and trying to kill the small units and not to engage the big units from the Wood Elves. Here, the unit of my general, I tried to do a swift reform and move my general out of this position, try to go away from this position and avoid any charge in the turn 6. But I failed the leadership test, so I only can do the reform, so I decided to keep their stationary. So now I'm exposed to a charge from the guys with the two-hand weapons, but yeah, but I'm too far to be charged with the Wild Riders, what is not that bad. So here we see, this was at the end of the turn 5 of Bretonnia. And there we see the Weight Watchers running on the board. We go into turn 6. Here I don't was very fast because the Wood decided not to do any charge. At the end he didn't want to charge with the block of infantry into my general unit. And the shooting, I don't think the shooting did a lot of damage. I don't think they killed maybe one knight, something like that. The shooting was quite irrelevant. So, and then I decided to assault, as this was the turn 6 and the last one, so no risk there, no. I assault with my general to the Glade Riders. I have to do some dangerous terrain, but I didn't receive any wound this time from the dangerous terrain because part of the lance was touching the wood when charging. And yeah, here he regrouped the Weight Watchers in the turn before, in his 6th turn, but I charge again the Weight Watchers and I just killed them all this time. So yeah, this is the positioning. Yeah, I don't know why this Weight Watcher didn't move. I think he tried to shoot some of the lances. Yeah, and here, yeah, this assault. This was when I killed the Weight Watchers here, and here I killed the Glade Riders without any problem with my general. I think maybe he killed one knight in return. Not important. Between my general and the BSB, I almost killed the whole unit. So, yeah, this was the end of the battle. Yeah, I think here was not necessary, but I just cast a very a spell with only 2 dice to recover 1 wound on my level 4 just in case. And yeah, this was the end of the battle. So quite interesting, a lot of movement during this battle, not too many close combat, just at the beginning of the battle and at the very end of the battle, the close combat, and most of the battle was shooting and positioning and magic. So at the end, Bretonnia did 1,777 points, and the Wood Elf did 1,060 points. So it was a victory from Bretonnia, not a crushing victory, but at the end, I was surprised because on the turn 2, I thought, oh my god, I'm going to be crushed by the Wood Elves because I received quite. I feel like I was in a very bad position. I lost 1 lance at that point. I lost the Pegasus Knights, but then I I start thinking, okay, I lost the Pegasus, but the Pegasus is, and I lost also the Grial Knights at that point. Say, okay, I try to play from that point very conservative, trying to save my lances and try to be very careful with the assaults that I'm going to do, and try to harvest as much points as possible. So from that point, I decided, okay, I have to try to kill the cheap units and to get out of this mess that was in the middle of the battlefield. And I think at the end pay back quite well. So I was not expecting to win, to be fair, in turn 2 or 3. And then in turn 4, 5, I see, oh, okay, if I keep doing these small units and killing these small units, maybe I have enough points to end up winning the battle. And that's all. So please leave your comment below, let me know what you think. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you again later. Bye.